Zoning in. Precise, complete, and informative. This is your talk show, Zoning In with the Shell, Annette, Christina, Elizabeth, Kenisha, and your host, Kenisha Davis. Zoning In, your dose of fresh thoughts.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final episode, the sixth and final episode of Zoning In, where tonight we'll do nothing less than zone in on your dose of fresh thoughts. Tonight being our final episode, we'll make this a very interesting one for you. Tonight I have a guest with me, and she has something she want to tell all of us. So I want to introduce to you my panel. I have Miss Christina Williams Gray. She's a lawyer here tonight. Miss Elizabeth Wright. She is a social worker. Miss Annette Edwards Blake. She's a counselor. And my guest that I spoke to you about before, Miss Kenisha Powell. Miss Powell, how are you? Good evening and welcome to Zoning In. You can go right ahead, Miss Powell.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I am in a serious wait, little boy, wait, little. I'm in a serious predicament. I've been to this man for 10 long years, and I have two children with him, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. I was a stay-at-home wife. I wasn't officially married to him, but we shared a common law relationship. And recently he died. And his other children came and took over the property that I was living on. Now I'm left basically out in the cold because I have to be staying with a friend of mine, and I really don't know what to do. I don't have any money. They took all of that away from me. I really don't know what to do.
Oh Lord. So we have heard from Miss Powell there. She was a common law spouse, and her spouse died. As you can guess tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there in TV land, radio land, the topic tonight is the surviving partner in a common law union should be one of the beneficiaries after the passing of the deceased spouse. Now I have here Miss Christina Williams Gray. You heard Miss Powell's predicament. She was in a common law relationship. Her spouse died, and nothing was left to her. She I don't think she knows if she can get anything. Do you have any advice for her, Mrs. Williams Gray, as an attorney?
Yes. Yes, I do have advice for her, but before I go on, I want to thank you for having me here on your show. I do appreciate being here and be given the chance to assist anyone that is in need. Miss Powell, I must apologize for your situation that you're going through right now. But are you aware that the law protects individual like you? Too often, a lot of persons are left in this kind of situation, and they are not aware that the law is there for them. You find that a lot of persons, their spouse die, or they get separated for some reason, and you find that they walk away not knowing that the law provide them with assistance and can guide you so that you can be supported. The law, his children has no right to throw you out of the home. How long have you been living with this man?
10 years, ma'am, 10 years.
10 years. 10 years. And according to the law, whenever you and a man or a gentleman has been living together for over 5 years, you guys are considered to be binded by law. It's not a marriage, but the law do consider you guys to be one union and will protect you. So by that saying, or do you know that you're entitled to 50% of what is in the marriage or what the man have within the marriage? It has to do with private properties.
Remember, they're not married, Mrs. Williams Gray. They're just common law spouse.
Yes, and I do understand that. But common law relationship, she's entitled to 50% of what the man acquires.
Okay.
Not saying that if he has businesses or private commercial lots, she's not entitled to that. But anything that has to do with a private, with his personal belongings, she's entitled, except for the shares or stocks or commercial properties. She's not entitled to that. But the home that she's living in, the vehicle that he may own, not anything that belongs to a business, no, but anything that he owns and considered to be a private, his personal belongings, she's entitled to 50% of that. Especially when you and your spouse acquire those stuff together.
Okay.
So no one can come and say, oh, get out of the property. No, what you should have done at that time is to call the police. The police will protect you.
Okay.
So what I want you to do going forward, you said that you don't have any money. Okay, fine, I do understand that. But there's lawyers there that will work and advocate for you at no cost to you. What you need to do is go to that police station, make a report of it. They will assign your case and you will get a lawyer assigned to you to advocate on your behalf.
All right. Thank you so much, dear Mrs. Christian Gray. So you heard Miss Powell, all is not lost. But before we go any further, what I want to do is highlight the key terms in the statement that was made, because many of us don't understand what common law spouse mean. And McCullough in the Jamaica Observer on June 14, 2021, she described common law spouse as a single man or a single woman living together in a conjugal or a sexual relationship for a period of time. And in Jamaica, as Mrs. Williams Gray said, if you're living together for over a period of 5 years, then you're considered a common law wife. You're not married, but you are entitled to benefits just as if you were married. Now, who is a beneficiary? In this case, what we're talking about, a beneficiary is a person who will will receive help or benefit from something, or in this case, from someone's death. So Miss Kenisha Powell, she is a common law spouse, so she should be a beneficiary in the death of her spouse. Now, Mrs. Blake, I want to get your take on what is happening here with Miss Powell. As a counselor, do you have anything that you'd want to say to Miss Powell concerning this issue?
Good evening, Miss Davis. Thank you very much for having me.
Good evening.
And yes, I am concerned as a counselor about Miss Powell's emotional state right now, because I watched her as she relayed to us what she was going through, and she seems to be a little bit disorientated, which is understandable. You know, your spouse died. That was a big hit, and then to know now that you were thrown out of the home that you and your spouse shared, and you have 2 children that are also with you, and we could see when she was relating her story, one of her child was there with her. I presume probably trying to comfort her because he had his hand on her shoulder, patting her.
Yes.
So it must be a tough situation that she's going through right now. But your guest before indicated that laws do exist that are there to protect common law spouses after the deceased of their and of one of their spouse. And so, I would like to schedule a session or two, depending on Miss Powell's state of mind and readiness to do that, where we could sit down and look at all of what she's going through, and where I could point her in the right direction to seek legal help. If Miss Williams Gray is willing to offer assistance, then that is something we definitely have to look on. Because too often we are in a society where women, especially women, are being placed in situations like this. You're living with a man, you didn't get married. That don't mean that you're not entitled to what he has, as Miss Williams Gray asserted, what he acquired while you're in the relationship. Because we know stay-at-home mom, we worked hand in hand. As a stay-at-home mom, you would work hand in hand with that man to acquire what he has, what is there in the home, what you both shared. So yes, equally, you are entitled to get some of this, some of what he has. And that is why the law changed a few years ago to ensure that women like Miss Powell, the law exists to protect you and your children. And as such, we will point you in the right direction if you're willing to sit and have some sessions with us, so we can, think about how we go. We go forward in ensuring that you get the benefits that you so deserve.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Edwards Blake. So dear Miss Powell, you have support right here on this platform. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. When we come back, we have another guest that will tell us really their side of what is happening here. So don't move. We will be right back.
Making a will, it's pretty important, and it's not just for old people either. A will can help protect the ones you love if the worst happens, and can ensure that the things you leave behind end up going to the right people. Click to find out how a solicitor can help you to make a reliable will that's right for your needs. Use a professional. Use a solicitor.
Welcome back, guys, to Zoning In. Now, I have a question for my guest. Miss Powell, I know that you're going through a state right now, but I just needed to ask, living with this man for 10 years, why didn't you just get married to make life easier? Because I think right now you would not be in this dilemma. So I'm just querying why it is that you didn't get married. I mean, living with a man for 10 years is just like being married. So why didn't you just go ahead and get married?
To be honest with you, I wanted to get married. I grew up in a Christian home, and I believe in marriage. However, this man, he did not want to get married. He was very superstitious. He believed that the minute he put that ring on my finger, then all hell would have broken loose in the house. So, I loved him, and I already had two child with him, so I just worked with him. Work with it.
Yeah. I see. And I can understand what you're saying. A lot of people have that notion that you're living together fine and dandy, and as soon as there's a ring on the finger, everything mash up. So I understand. I've heard that before. No, I also have another guest here who, they have their side of the story, and we are very interested to hear what's going on. I have Miss Tashel Christian. Miss Powell, you may be familiar with her because she is your spouse's child. Miss Christian?
Yes, good night. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good night, Miss Christian. I understand that you have something to say about the whole situation that's going on here with Miss Powell. You can go ahead and share with us what you have to say.
Yes. Well, I don't think Miss Powell deserves anything. Miss Powell was with my father, yes, for quite a long time. We were all surprised when she was surprised that we didn't want her to get anything. Our relationship was never that good. She wasn't with our father straight. Sometimes we were even wondering if she lived there because a lot of times when we went there, we're the ones that are always doing some stuff for our father. So although they were together, we know of her for about 10 years. We know her siblings supposedly. We are still we don't believe she deserves anything. Our father worked hard. He even proposed to her. She turned it down. We were all there. It was a big birthday dinner he threw for her. After I think it was 6 years in their relationship, and she turned it down. So what more proof you want that she didn't want a relationship with him? Now that he's dead, she wants everything that we're supposed to get.
But Miss
I don't
Christian,
think she deserves it.
you have to understand that living with him for 10 years, she is entitled to something. Whether you believe it or not, she is entitled to something.
If she's entitled to something, what proof does she have that she even contributed to anything that he had?
Well,
Our
she
father
lived
has
there for 10
everything before.
years.
Oh well, our father had a house, he had a car, the house was already furnished. What did Miss Powell bring to the relationship except for her siblings?
Well, Miss Powell will have to share with us what she brought to the relationship.
Well, let us see.
You know, Mr. Shell, I know you didn't like me from day one. I know. But I do have a love in my heart for you. And even though you and your siblings have hurt me a lot, I do have a love in my heart for you. The truth is, yes, he did propose to me at one point, but at that point, he still said that he did not want to get married because I was forcing him to get married to me. But he kept on saying, I don't want our relationship to get any worse or to get bad. Yes, we were having some tough times, and there were times when I moved out for maybe like 2 days, but I didn't stay apart from him for long. So, yes, I wanted to get married. Yes, he proposed, but at the same time, he was constantly saying, I really don't want to do it. So, based on that, no, I decided that no, I'm
You're
not
not
going to
pushing it.
do this. Yes,
But
he needs to want to do it for himself, not for
yes,
me. So, they
indeed.
being his children, he's not going to relate that to them. He's not going to do that.
Yes,
And
but
that's what they don't understand.
at the end of the day, Miss Powell, he proposed, you turn it down, but you still kept the ring. You have the ring until this day. You said you're the one that was forcing him. So when he finally gave in, why didn't you just accept it? I mean, as you said, you were there in the picture for 10 years. So what's that? What prevented you? And taking the marriage away from it, the relationship was toxic, and you just proved it. You said that he did this, he did that. You moved out. So why act as if the relationship was so perfect and we are so wicked for not wanting you to be there? Our father was the head breadwinner. He took care of us. He was paying for our stay at different places, and now he is not here, so we have to come in the house. There at this time we have to inhabit the house and be there. There's just no space. What
But
are we
but
supposed to
Miss
do?
Christian, you can come to an amicable agreement about staying in the house. I mean, it seems to be a big house according to what Miss Paul was telling us earlier off air. So I mean, you can come to an agreement because despite what you may think, if the relationship was toxic or it wasn't toxic, the point is they were together for 10 years. So she is entitled to whatever she's entitled to. Right, Mrs. Williams Gray? Because you spoke about the law. She's
Yes.
entitled to what she's entitled to.
And Miss Christiane, you have to remember that you're not a part of the relationship.
Exactly.
You do not know what takes place
That's when I
in
was.
that relationship. And to add to that, she has two children for him.
We love our brother and sister. We always do everything that we can for them. The problem is we cannot coexist in the same environment. We cannot. And we refuse to.
But there are ways to work around that too, Miss Christian. Because if it is that it is one home, and she's entitled to something and you're also entitled, I mean, there can be a split. You can sell it, you get your half, she get her half, and you do what you want to do, and she does what she want to do. The point is, she is entitled.
Well, we are not selling our father's legacy. That is our legacy. And our siblings that she has will benefit from it as well. And as you said, Miss Powell said that she still loves us and all of this. We never said we didn't have any type of care for her. We're just in a position where I'm still going to school. My brother is still struggling. He had to move in before even us he was there with her until they had too many arguments and all type of things was spewing and it couldn't work out. Now we are in the position where we cannot continue to afford boarding. We have to come back to the house. The better part of the house is where Miss Powell wants. And it cannot happen. We are his children. We are entitled to everything.
Well, let me hear what Mrs. Blake have to say. Miss Blake wanted to say something. I'll have her go ahead.
I am listening to both sides of a story here, and I think that we are we are straying from what the real issue here.
Yes.
Though we want to mediate, I sense that this is becoming a mediating session right now, and I think it's deviating from what the real topic should be tonight.
Yes.
As you pointed out earlier to Miss Christian, it is not a matter of what she feels or what she does not feel about what Miss Powell might have brought to the relationship. As a woman or even as a man cohabiting together, not because you didn't bring something financial to the table does not mean that you're not entitled.
That's right.
Any financial aspect in the home. Under the law, that is why the law came up with these guidelines for any woman living in Jamaica with a man for more than 5 years. They are there, they are the provider, they are the woman
and the housekeeper
who is there to ensure that when the man comes home, he has something to eat, his clothes is washed, his food is cooked, who is there for emotional support and all other support. We don't know.
Yes. Further to that, she's taking care of him, whatever,
he's taking care
sexually, plus the children.
And they would have come up with this agreement to say, all right, I will be working, you stay at home. If the man had a problem that she wasn't working, then she would be out there working.
Yes.
You understand? So because a woman didn't bring something financial to the table, that does not mean to say, all right, then he is dead, so she must be thrown out and nothing. What is she going to live on?
Let me add something to what you're saying. Let me just add something to what you're saying, Miss Bay. I didn't say that she's not supposed to get anything. I'm just saying that she mentioned that we put her out of the house. At the end of the day, when I go home to my father's house on the weekend, I'm the one who watches for him. Of course, I'm not there every day, but I'm the one who does those things. And yes, she does it too. She has been doing it. But at the end of the day, it's not her alone. She just mentioned that she left the place a lot of the time. So who was doing it for him when she wasn't there? When she decided that the relationship isn't worth it and she decides to walk away.
No, but I understand all of what you're saying. But as I am saying, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you feel you did or didn't do. The law still stipulates that she 1/10 of whatever the man acquired while they were in together. Now, because Miss Powell did not understand her rights, you were able to put her out. So now that Miss Powell is hearing
We
that,
didn't, we
all
didn't put
right,
her away.
then she can go seek the assistance of the lawyer, and then the lawyer will mediate, and then things will be worked out where Miss Powell will get only what the law requires her to get
Yes.
left. Then you, as children, you are there, you will get the rest. But as it is not a matter of emotion or what you feel or what Miss Powell feel, it is a matter of law, and that is what we are here to
I would
debate.
have no problem, Miss
Okay.
Blake. I would have no problem to share with Miss Powell. But it is just so ironic that as my father, we didn't even get time to grieve properly. And it's all about I'm supposed to get this, I'm supposed to get that, and it just didn't feel like it was genuine. Like it was like she was just waiting for him to die. She might not love him unconditionally, but we love him flaws and all. So when we hear that, we're
You
just,
say that you as children could not provide for your father the need that Miss Powell admit.
but that is not the point. The point
That
is,
your
as he
father
dies, he wants
that
everything.
your father had a problem with Miss Powell be in a common law relationship with him. Why is it that the relationship had lasted until he died? It must have account for something. She must have account for something, and it cannot be that she would have been at fault for every and any problem they were having. There's two sides to every story.
Well, you've heard my side and you've heard her side, and
All
you've
right. I
drawn.
think Miss Wright wanted to say something. She's a social worker. Let us hear what Miss Wright had to say. Miss Wright, you can go ahead now, please.
Thank you for having me, Miss Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Kenisha, I must empathize with you. I would advise you to seek counseling, and you can also contact a lawyer because you do have rights. So contact a lawyer and let that lawyer give you a legal procedure on how to go about to acquire what your past spouse has. It doesn't matter what other person wants to. Once you take the right channel and the right route as a common law spouse, the law stipulated that you can claim within 180 days. So you still have time to go and seek proper guidance on how you can get. So you don't have to worry yourself. Also, I understand that you are grieving right now because you love your you love your spouse. And according to Elizabeth Ross, 5 Stages of Grief Counseling, you probably are depressed right now and you are confused, but you can just regroup and get back on the right track.
Yes, and get the necessary help needed.
Yes. Also, probably I heard, I don't know if it is Mr. Shell or what says, why didn't she marry? I think yes.
But I was the one who asked her why it is that she just didn't get married.
Yes, but probably she didn't want any commitment at the time, or probably she was afraid of going into the marriage and didn't know what she would get out of the marriage. But seeing as she has been with him for such a long period of time, she have benefits that she can claim.
Yes.
If he had like insurance benefit, estate, rights, and she have other children and property that he had. So, Miss Kenisha, please seek a lawyer and get help. And also, you are distraught, so get some counseling.
Thank you so much, Miss Wright. Thank you so much, Miss Wright. So there, Miss Powell, you're getting a lot of advice. You're getting a lot of support. So I hope you will seek the help that you need. Guys, we are getting down to the wire of it, and this show is coming to a close. As I said, this is our last episode, and I must say it is sad to end this talk show. We really enjoyed every minute of it. I'm thanking all my guests that showed up every evening at this hour to, share their dose of fresh thoughts with us. All of the persons that we interviewed on the streets, we are very grateful. I hope that persons in Radio Land, TV Land, and on social media did enjoy these episodes. I hope that we can come back next year if the sponsors would allow us. But I want to thank you all for coming, guys. I really did enjoy tonight, and I've learned a bit about the rights that the common law spouse would have, whether it be a male or female. You do have rights as long as you have been living, as long as you were single and living with another single person in a conjugal relationship, meaning a sexual relationship, you have rights to benefit from whatever they left when they died, if they had acquired it while they were in the relationship with you. So I want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you have learned a lot from these episodes. Thank you again, everyone, and have yourself a good night.